Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ Show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. You can catch this podcast on the go wherever you get your podcasts. And do consider following me on every social media platform. With all that boring stuff out of the way, I'm super happy to introduce my next guest, Neil Mikels. Neil, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Hey, DJ. How are
Hey,
you?
we got the Hey DJ. All right.
Just had to get that out of the way. It's formality, right?
Yeah, my buddy Randall was like, am I the only one who says it? And I was like, I think you are. And then he was like, wow, people need to step up. So I'm going to make it a point that everybody needs to say that in the beginning. Not really. I don't care.
It's almost a prompt. So you have to write it down beforehand and have a cue card on the side that says, hey, DJ, how's it going
Like
today?
the applause.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, hey, DJ, you got to greet me as that.
Well, I don't think we need an applause, do we?
No. I meant like one of those applause.
No, I know.
Shut
what
up.
you're saying.
All right. So what were we talking about? Like literally right before the table. Yeah. So
Table. Yeah.
I'm getting a new table. Because you're going to see it like at the end. I try to shake my guest's hand and it's such an ordeal. It's 4 feet. And I'm getting a table that's 3 feet and then 5 feet wide, maybe 6.
So I feel like you should just rotate the table.
I thought about that. I'm not that dumb.
No,
I'm
not
a
saying
little dumb.
dumb.
I'm not that dumb.
I didn't say you're dumb, but
And I'm too close.
okay.
I need to find a good medium.
I mean, this is like probably what 2.5 feet, 2 feet.
Yeah, it's 2.5 feet wide. But I got a buddy, John. He DM'd me and saying, hey man, like, because I put it on Facebook saying like, hey, I kind of want an upgraded table. Does anybody know woodworking or have any tools? I'll buy the supplies. I'll pay you. I need to do it. And he hit me up and it was like, yo, let's talk about it. So I got to hit him up. So I'm really happy about that. I got to build the table.
What kind of wood is it? Are you looking into specifics?
I'm going to talk to him about it,
Okay.
the specifics.
Trust me, I don't know my wood either. So
I only know my wood.
On to the next topic.
All right, cool. Anyways, I hope I only know my wood. Anyways, so Neil, so happy to have you on the show. For those who heard the name Neil, because I've dropped your name several times. Mm-hmm. Neil is not day 1, but day 0. Neil is responsible. He's drinking the mug with the logo. He's responsible for half the logo. He's responsible for the, what would you call it? Illustration?
No. So the illustration, the gentleman laying on his back and recording into his phone, or potentially eating a mango. I think it actually looks like he's eating a mango.
What?
That was done.
Dude, now I'm gonna like change it. No,
No, I'm
I want him
joking.
to speak into the mic.
That's absolutely a mic. Why else would he be yelling into a mango?
He's sweet talking the mango. Now that I'm looking at it.
Oh, sweet talking.
Sweet talking the
All
mango.
right.
You don't sweet talk your fruit before you eat them?
You know,
Am I the only one?
probably. I'm not a big fruit guy, but you all right with it? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just not a big fruit guy.
I guess you are what you eat. Yeah. Big fruit.
I don't eat big.
I know I am. I'm saying
okay.
me.
Sorry.
God, swing and a miss.
Anyway, back to the illustration. No, so I didn't do the illustration. That was Eric, right?
That was Eric.
Yeah, so Eric.
No, I'm getting it mixed up. So what's it called when you do it, like the design?
I guess that would just be the graphic design or the composition. I don't really know what you'd call it. I'd say the design, I guess.
Okay.
As we were talking before, this was a design by Eric, or so the illustration by Eric.
Mm-hmm.
You tossed him the concept of having a guy sitting and recording into a microphone. He did a quick sketch, and then was able to turn around an illustration same day, essentially.
Dude, you and him worked mad quick. It was amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you said you wanted something pretty simple, so I didn't think that this was going to be horribly taxing, and you had an idea in mind. I mean, I gave you a couple little sketches of like, hey, how do you want the composition? Do you want it like the Hey DJ show or the Hey DJ show? And then I gave you like 3 or 4 options to choose from.
Yeah.
You gave me one, and I'm like, okay, I can work with that. Do we want air quotes? Do you want it to be kind of linear, or do you want it to be kind of
Freaking love it, man.
dynamic? And so pretty much within the same day, you just gave me the color scheme, what you wanted it to look like. I got the illustration. I threw it together for you. And yeah, Probably one of the easiest clients I've ever worked with. That's for sure.
I'm a simple client. No, dude, God, like I love both you and Eric. It was amazing because uh so I was having a hard time. I didn't want to like I told Eric, "Oh, I don't want to come off as a douche. Like I just don't know what I want. Can you walk me through it?" And he was like, "Uh I mean, we can, but like really I want to please you. I want you to come at me with a like something that I can come back to you and say, I know I can do this or I can't do this."
Mm.
Then after a while, the silhouette of laying down, I got the inspiration from Spider-Man Homecoming where he's laying on
Oh
the
yeah,
street.
the kind of dynamic poster where he's laying like vertically,
Yeah.
well, diagonally.
Yeah, so like he's
Yeah,
just sitting down like this. And
yeah,
then I was like, "Oh, what about like that?" But he's holding the microphone. So I thought about that. I told Eric about it. I said, silhouette, nice and simple.
yeah. And I think who was I talking with? It was you were living with Steven at the time, and I was like, have Steven take a photo of you with
Oh
that
no,
in the
no,
reference.
I was living with Zach
Zach,
because
sorry, okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you said have Zach take a
Yeah,
photo.
have someone take a photo so that it's an easier reference for Eric to trace, because that would just make things easier than him having to have to design a human being.
But no, he did it from scratch. It was amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's dude, he's good. And then you're good. I remember texting you going like, "All right, here's a silhouette." Like he couldn't make the letters pop, and I was like, "Can you run with it?" And literally, I remember this because you texted me. You just said, "All right, give me 3 colors," and I said, "Well, red and black, and I guess white." And because red and black are my favorite colors, and then you were like, "All right, I need a third one. What about white?" You took it, you came up with like 3 4 designs really quickly, and then immediately I fell in love with this one. And then there's the one I'm trying to think. Okay, the logo will probably be somewhere right over here for people watching. And yeah, no, I freaking love it. If I
Yeah.
wasn't afraid of needles, I'd get that tattooed on me.
Well, I'm glad you love it. It's it honestly, again, it was one of the simpler designs I've done, and you're one of the easiest clients I've definitely worked with to do something like
I'm a
that.
simple dude.
I mean,
People
honestly,
Simple is so underrated.
oh yeah, minimalism's great. As we look at your wall behind you of thousands of trinkets, but I mean, my house is or my apartment's the same. You know.
I know. So if I move, I'm gonna have to find a way because it's stationary. So I'm gonna have to.
Well, it's built in, which is pretty great. You know, it's either
No,
that or you have to buy 1,000 IKEA calyx shelves to try to house everything, and those are.
IKEA can have my money. I don't care.
I mean, I listen. I mean, aside from this table, uh, I have a ton of IKEA things in my house. It's not in any way, shape, or form a bad thing to have in your house. It's just it's cheap and malleable. Here's the thing, like I mean, I added some wooden legs to a bunch of my stuff in my actual entertainment center or entertainment console at home. It's just one of the 4 cubes, and I just put feet on it, and it works perfectly fine.
Yeah,
And whatever, not a
yeah.
huge.
No, I love IKEA. They can have all my money. But I do want to get into woodworking later in the future, especially when I get my own place.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways, let's get to it. We rambled on, but I love it. All right. So Neil, you work in post production. Is
Mhm.
that correct? Like, what's your official title?
Um, I always jokingly say I'm a coat rack or a hat man because I wear many hats at the office,
Mm.
and so I'm kind of a jack of all trades. But if I were to actually specify what I am, I'm an online editor, which is the man who essentially takes the final colored media from the colorists, or and also the final mixed audio from the sound team. I throw it back together in the NLE nonlinear editor that we used beforehand, or that whoever used beforehand. Um, Matched it back to the editor's cut, applying any sizing transformations, flips, whatever that are necessary, and then mastering it out, which is essentially just creating an exported file, watching it down, and then sending that out to network QC or whomever needs it. Sometimes we send it to screening, like festival screenings. Sometimes we send it to, you know, just directly to people because it's a short film. but depends. And that's a quick summarization of what I do, layman's terms.
So I know it's probably buried right under there. So like if you know those like funny uh there was like a video where it's like coming up with fancy job title names for like simple jobs, like
Hmm.
a dishwasher is a underwater sanitation technician. So but what's your like legit title?
Yeah, it would be online
Online
editor.
editor?
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
because I also do. I mean, I do edit. It's just it's minor things like if the editor punched in didn't punch in far enough, and so maybe there's like just a little bit of a frame edge on the side, or let's say that they didn't stabilize a shot and it definitely needed it. I'll make those slight modifications to make the final product, aka the program, the file, whatever, better. Um, but I'm not going in there and being like, oh yeah, we should scooch the audio 10 frames to the left, unless um, on occasion, the producers will come in and say, hey, we need to adjust some things here. I'll do it then, but I won't go out and do it on my own.
Yeah, you're not like trying to take it as your own, like creatively, like you're trying to do what they hired you to do.
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, I mostly match it back to the editor's cut to make sure it matches because that's what everyone's expecting.
Yeah.
And I only make modifications on an as necessary basis or as needed basis. Excuse me. Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, you're in post production.
Mhm.
Do you want to say your company's name or no? Like, do you want to give them a shout out now? You don't have to. I'm just saying.
Uh, that's a hard question because it's
We won't. We won't. Just to be
okay.
safe, we won't. Okay. So
No one's gonna dox me, but
all right. So that being said, like for some people listening who
I'll just I mean I can say the name. It's fine.
no, you can.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I just
Yeah. Okay.
you're
Here.
free to if you want to. I'm not gonna force you. If you don't want to, I'm not gonna force
Yeah. No, I work at a place called Moonshine Post-Production in Atlanta. We're in Old Fourth Ward. Yeah,
you. Nice.
it's a nice place.
And you've been there for like freaking 4 years, right? Like,
I
at least.
graduated class of 17. And I've been there since then. So yeah, it's roughly 4 years,
Dude,
something
that's
like that.
awesome. All right. So like post production. I know some people like myself included, because to be honest, I never. I think it's honestly when even hanging out with Steven and our group of friends for years, I don't think I've ever heard the term post production till you started working at Moonshine. So, like, if you had to explain it, I guess in layman's term to the average viewers, what is post production?
It's pretty easy to summarize in excuse me. Uh, it's extraordinarily easy actually to summarize that in one word, and it's just editorial. You know, uh, People can go out and film all day, but then what are you going to do with the film? It's just going to be a bunch of miscellaneous files or literal film uh, that exists. We are the team that'll take that and we'll create the finalized product. We're the ones that are cutting things together and doing all the VFX.
Oh, you guys do the
So
VFX too?
it depends.
It
Yeah,
depends.
we do VFX. Usually smaller stuff, but depending on the project, we can do more if it's allotted in the budget. Um, but yeah, it's just we're the ones cutting it together, coloring it, mixing the sound, doing any VFX if needed, titles and graphics, and then compiling that into a package that then is sent to wherever you see it,
Yeah.
wherever you consume media.
Dude, that's dope. So like, cause hanging out with you and Steven, like I started to slowly see like the process like of like big Hollywood movies, like because it's if you summarize it, you can see the line. I know you can see the line better than me of like the process of how everything's done. So once it hits post production and like say you and your team are working on it
Yeah.
and you're finished, you export it. So at that point, is it ready for distribution or is there still another process?
Well,
Because that's what I know what post production is like from you. So now I'm thinking like, okay, that's done. Like for me with this podcast on smaller version,
yeah.
once I export it, once everything's put together, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Now it's time to distribute. So
Yeah.
is that the same thing with the big leagues?
So I mean, all of film and television and even video production can kind of be broken down into two main phases, which is pre-production and post-production. Then there's, distribution following that for, large things like film and TV. So that is where, we send it off to whomever, the network or to a distribution team. They take the files, they create the files that are needed for whatever network they're going to, whatever streaming platform, whatever airline, because sometimes they have, specifications for an airline, or maybe even physical deliverables like Blu-rays, DVDs, 4K UHD Blu-ray, stuff like that. And they're creating all the files there. They also come up with all the marketing stuff. Or maybe they get that from us. It depends. It depends on a lot of situations. But yes, there is another step. It is, or excuse me, what did I just say earlier? Distribution, yes.
Yeah.
And there's another step there for larger things. But for you, your distribution is pretty straightforward. You just create a file, you upload it, you make all the little, marketing phrases, photos, stuff, and then you just send it out. So yeah, there is another step following that. It's probably lesser known because it's not really fully involved within all of film and television. Distribution happens for everything.
Yeah.
Music, shoot. Technically, you probably can go to even clothing lines, and it almost comes into marketing at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is another step afterwards, and they're equally as important.
This just like this. I didn't write this down, but this just popped into my head. Okay, so because you're a big movie buff, and I'm guessing your company deals with a lot of digital stuff, but I know you're big into film, like actual old school film. Like, does your company deal with that, or is it like only certain companies deal with film?
So hilariously, I was actually talking about this the other day. There aren't many places in Atlanta that actually deal with physical film, like for movies or TV. I was on Reddit the other day, and someone was asking, like, "What's the process on how to do this? Where do I do this?"
What is the process?
Yeah, it's usually, from what I understand, there's like a machine that scans each individual, cell of the film reel, and they digitize that, and that gets turned into a video file, and you can set the frame rate for however many frames you want per second, et cetera, et cetera. And then, depending if they like the raw feel of that film, they can go in and clean it up, or they can leave it as is, and then they can, from there they start cutting with it, and then they send it to color, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so we personally don't deal with physical film. It's all digital. I think Kodak is the only lab in town that actually does physical film stuff. Don't quote me on that.
Mm.
But I also do have friends that do like still frame photography with actual film.
Wow.
And their process for that is really cool. They talk to me about it, and I just feel like a deer in headlights listening to them. It's just like, I have no idea what anything you're saying right now, but it is super duper cool.
Okay, like, listen, I'm not knocking, old school film. I'm generally an old school guy in a lot of things, but as I'm not tech savvy, and when I find out about like things like, okay, I'm looking to upgrade my little studio, and when I see like, oh, this one microphone is so much better, it takes the work off from like these old microphones or boom arms, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yes, give me the new school stuff because I want my job to be easier.
Mm-hmm.
I get people that might be still in love with film, where it's just like, oh, it's just, there's something about it, there's some nostalgia, whatever. But isn't your job harder? Like, why do that to yourself, especially in film? Because I know the whole film industry is stressful. Why do that to yourself?
Well, it's an appreciation for the old craft. It's like,
I can respect that.
We can go to IKEA and buy a $30 table, or like you said, you can reach out to a friend who's a woodworker, and they put a lot of time and effort and care into crafting something that you like, and usually
Damn it,
can
that's actually a good
no,
analogy.
you can literally see the difference in quality from something that's, just cheaply manufactured between something that's handcrafted and made with love, you know?
What is that?
Because because, look at taking a selfie with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, quick, easy, one click of a button.
Yeah.
You might touch it up a little bit in I don't know, Instagram or whatever photo editor you use,
Nothing.
maybe
I just
Photoshop,
upload
anything.
it.
Well, no, I'm just saying like in
Yeah.
general. But then, a photographer that goes out and shoots with, large format cameras, they have to properly expose the shot. They have to make sure everything's set the way they want it to be. Usually for those old cameras, you have to it's not just an instant click. You kind of have to sit there and make sure you're getting what you want. And usually have one shot. It's not well, not usually, but you have to imagine that you're going in with one shot. And everything has to be perfect, because then afterwards you have to bring it into post-production and actually like process that film, because like a a physical film cell, and trying to I mean, I don't even know the process.
Yeah.
But trying to get that to look as good as a digital image is a lot more time consuming process that involves a lot of chemicals and a lot of dark rooms and stuff that I don't really have a lot of knowledge on, but I respect all of those people and their craft entirely. So
have you ever took a picture? Like, I completely understand what you're saying. Have you ever took a picture with a camera with like long lens? I know you don't have them, but like in friends or whatever, have you ever
telephoto lens?
Yeah, like those big lenses and stuff.
I used to rent those out from North Cobb, I think.
Okay, all right. Be honest, because this is what I picture.
Not North Cobb. Sorry,
SCAD?
It was SCAD.
Right.
I remember us having a couple long lenses, but I don't remember. Yeah, I just don't remember.
Okay.
So long ago. I haven't been in high school for so long.
So because this is what I picture. You know me, I'm a silly dude. All right, this is what I picture. Those ones with the big lenses. All right, be honest with me. Be honest with the world. Do you feel like a sniper when you're taking a picture with those?
I'm very
long
glad
lenses?
this went towards a sniper.
Like, all right, come on. You're just
I
like,
thought you were gonna be like, yo, does it look like a giant dong?
No. Like, do you legit feel like a sniper? Like you have that one shot and you're just like, come on. Pop. Damn it, I missed. Reload. All right.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go home, boys.
Especially
mission accomplished.
Especially for doing like long range photography. Like if you're doing something like what was it? A lot of the football, like if you're filming, not filming, taking photos for like the football game, or like in North Cobb.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you need those long lenses to try to get in like an intimate moment, because you can't be up obviously right on top of them. So yeah, you definitely feel like a sniper. I mean, I definitely felt like a sniper. So
I've always wanted to ask people that. I'm like, yo, for real, do you feel like a sniper? Like,
is that on your bucket list? I needed to ask somebody this question.
Pretty much. I'm just saying, like, I bet, especially with people who've never fired a gun, are just like, yeah, I think this is the closest to firing a sniper. I haven't fired a sniper. I want to.
I mean, I've fired a gun before. It's nothing like that.
I mean, I fired guns before. I just never fired a sniper. I want to go to one of those like sniping range where, like how, it's not the crosshair, like in the middle of the crosshair. That's not where the bullet's gonna go. So you have to actually like calculate.
You haven't watched Bad Batch. Never mind.
No, I have not. Oh, I know the character because he's in one of the Clone Wars episodes.
Oh yeah, you did finish Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Do you agree with me? The last 4 episodes are some of the best Star Wars content that has been put out. Do you think that is better than any of the? Okay, I don't agree with this statement, but I can see why people would say this. Do you think the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars,
it needed to be its own movie,
is a better movie than any of the sequel trilogy? I've seen people say that. I can completely understand why.
It's 100% better than episode 2. Let me just say that.
Well, sequel trilogy. I meant like 7, 8, 9.
Oh, 100, 100, 1,000. Yes. Okay, 7. Okay, let me just put this on the record real quick. I get it. Like, I literally want to make this point.
Everything comes back to Star Wars.
I just want to make this point. Okay. Episode 7, I get it. All right? I get what people are saying. Oh, it's just a rehash of New Hope. I get it. I liked it. And I think it's motivated. Here's why. I literally picture the Death Star as a tank. What happened? Like, go on Google right now, type in like the world's first tank, and then type in like the most recent tank. You'll notice the size difference and the quality. You're gonna be like, oh yeah. So what happened with the first tank ever invented? It got destroyed. What, did they just give up? No, they made it bigger and better and more durable. That's what I picture with the Star Killer base. It's like, oh, they just made a new Death Star that could destroy like 5 planets at once. Yeah, wouldn't you? Like, you made the Death Star, you're really proud of it. It gets destroyed, and you're just like, are we just gonna stop? Let's make it bigger and let's make it better. So to me, that concept is justified. Also, I do like Kylo Ren as a character. I
Just needed a better ending.
agreed. Ray kicking his ass. I'm just like, oh bullshit. Like you can.
Well,
I'm not saying that Ray couldn't win.
It makes sense now that
Yeah, like now that we know
because of Rise of Skywalker, everything
Yeah.
makes sense now. But it's just it should have been a little.
But overall, 7 I enjoyed. Like, I'm not ranking it as top 3, no, but I enjoyed 7. I thought 7 was good. 8 and 9 are trash.
7 evokes the amazing. I am a 7-year-old in the theater watching Star Wars for the Phantom Menace for the first time.
Yeah.
I think that's when that came out for me. Wait, no. Did it come out in 99?
Phantom Menace?
Yeah, I think it came out in 99.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I
Yeah.
actually was like 4.
I
No.
was 7.
Yeah, I was 4. So, yeah. It evoked that feeling of just seeing for Star Wars for the first time and just like, oh my gosh, what is this amazing world? What, like, because, I mean, Revenge of the Sith was 2005, so we had a good 10-year gap before we got another movie. Well, 11-year gap before we got another movie, and it was just magical. But
so that's what I'm saying. I think 7 was good,
but
I think people shit on it too hard.
But people shit on 8 too much. 8's a technical masterpiece. The story wise, I can see why there are a lot of gripes from people. I can see all of the gripes, and I still hate the C plot. Rose and Finn going to the casino planet.
Yeah,
Harry Potter. But
I that's that one movie where I 100% of the blame goes to the director.
I think Rian Johnson did an amazing job with that film. It's just the problem is the trilogy should have ended correctly with Colin Trevorrow's original vision for Rise of Skywalker. It would have been so much better.
I don't know what this.
So if you have the time ever, just go and look what the original script was for Episode 9. It was this insane story of essentially like Kylo Ren and the First Order taking over Coruscant, and that's where the final assault was, and just having this weird like gritty underground kind of battle in the in a gigantic city planet.
Oh wow.
And it was just insanity. Because like General Hux was supposed to like commit seppuku with like Mace Windu's lightsaber because he was apparently a very a collector of like fine Jedi goods or whatever and artifacts and stuff, and apparently he disappointed Kylo Ren and saw the downfall of the First Order right in front of him. He's just like, well, time to. And it was just such an more interesting movie, and there's a lot of stuff that they lifted directly out of that out of the original story, but it would have just been so much better. The concept art was insane too. Like they have some really cool concept art for that movie. You should seriously give it a read. It is so much cool.
I'll try it, yeah. I just don't know which is shittier, Episode 8 or Episode 9.
Episode 9, because I mean they retconned stuff from Episode 8 because they thought it was so bad, and it's like you can't.
That's true.
Don't do that.
Yeah. If
you're making a trilogy, be confident in what you did and build upon it. Don't literally just like, never mind, you're not nobody. You're actually like you're actually a Palpatine now, because why not?
Why not?
Because that wasn't alluded to in any of the previous movies. Let's just, let's just make you a Palpatine, I guess. But
that was so trash.
Yeah.
How do we get there? How do we We were talking about Star Wars. How did we get here?
No, I was just wondering if you
Oh
like
yeah, because I
Clone
said
Wars.
Crosshair. We're going Bad Batch. Oh,
Crosshair,
I
yeah.
literally remember the timeline. No, so Clone Wars was great.
Although it takes you 7 seasons to get to the point where you're like, that's amazing. That's the only disappointing
it's a fucking slow burn because
takes 2 to 3 seasons for it to get good for most people.
3. I remember this 3 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was literally the episode with Obi-Wan versus the Mandalorian dude with the black lightsaber, bald.
You talking about? No, I'm not talking about. It's one of the Vizslas, right? Yeah, I can't remember right now.
All right, but it was one of the Mandalorians.
It's one of the Mandalorian arcs. Yeah,
he's the one that he first introduces the black lightsaber,
the dark saber.
The
pretty easy to remember, hilariously.
So
aptly named.
So I remember that fight scene and me being in love with fight scenes. I was just like, oh, okay, wow, this is pretty good, and that happened in season 3. Season 3 and up, that's when it starts honestly to get good. Season 1.
Season 2 had some good moments where they were talking about the clones, like the I think the intro to that season.
Every clone episode was good. My buddy did tell me that. He was like, every clone episode's good. He was right. The episode with 99.
Yeah.
That got to me.
Yeah. That's good. That means it's good storytelling.
Yeah. No. So I'm excited to. I'm trying to watch Rebels. I stopped a little bit, and then
I love Rebels.
I want to watch Bad Batch. I saw the first episode of Bad Batch.
How far did you get in Rebels before you stopped? Because once you get to season 2, that just
that's what I hear. So
no, season 1.
I'm just busy with school and the podcast and work, but
and still not playing Portal 2. But yeah,
it's literally sitting in my room. I'm
it.
trying. How many hours is it? I know I've asked you this.
I mean, I
take my time though. I take my time.
I first played it in like 10, but you can. I mean, I now beat it. I speed through it in about 4 now.
All right, so it's gonna take me around 10. I take my time,
and that's not including the co-op DLC that.
And I still gotta finish Miles Morales. Yo, Alec, shout out to you, Alec. I gotta return it to him.
Yeah, I haven't even played the first Spider-Man still. Jeez, I have so many games in my backlog now.
Exactly. So
I literally just bought another game on Thursday, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Let me play this for a couple minutes. I got through like the beginning, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to put this down and like get back to doing not game stuff.
It's such a first world problem.
Or I go back to Warzone, which is a terrible problem for me.
Well,
it's not a terrible problem.
That's what I'm saying. It's first world problem. It's I don't have time for like just decompress and play games sometimes.
Yeah. Looping back to that,
I don't even watch anything on like Hulu, Netflix, nothing. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos because I'm in planning mode.
They do the TikToks now essentially, where it's just like these really short YouTube shorts, which is just literally TikTok. Yeah. So you watch the shorts and it's like, wow, that's great content. And that's it. Because it's just like, it's not even good content most of the time. It's literally just short content you're able to digest and just be like, okay, I watched something. I feel like that fulfilled my satisfaction quota for today. At least that's how I feel about it sometimes.
I don't watch TikTok. I don't watch the YouTube shorts. I just watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watch long form interviews on YouTube, or like recently I was trying to see, before my buddy John hit me up for the making the table. I have an addictive personality. Like I can admit that, but with positive things, I like to think where, okay, I want to make a table. Let me watch a bunch of videos of different ways to make a table. Let me see what fits right for me. What can I do? What's budget friendly? That's what I do with the podcast and learning how to edit. I just constantly watch. It's good and bad. I watch way too much YouTube videos. I do need to stop sometimes. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
All right. So what have you worked on that's out right now?
Okay, so let's see. The most recent stuff that I've worked on, I'm just going to give shout outs to the most recent stuff. 76 Days I worked on at the beginning of, I think it was the beginning of the year, or it could be at the end of last year. It's a documentary that shows the inside workings of 3 separate hospitals in Wuhan during the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. And wow. It's this really intimate documentary that's just like, not like found footage, but it's like, handheld camera stuff showing the struggle that these hospitals had to go through within the first 76 days of lockdown in China, and just showing how they had to deal with the patients and how the doctors were having to go, like the procedures the doctors were having to go through, and then the emotional, drama between, just people that had the virus and were sick and stuck in bed and their family, and it's a really good documentary, honestly.
And it's out
Um,
right now.
yeah, it actually just won an Emmy.
Hey, nice.
So I was as shocked as you. I was like, just because I saw that a couple months ago they got nominated, and I'm like, oh, it'd be really nice to win an Emmy. And then the other day, I got an email from the director because he BCC'd everybody and said, "Hey guys, don't know if you know, but we won an Emmy," and we were just all like, "Whoa, this is an amazing film," but we didn't expect
It's
this.
Emmy worthy now.
So yeah, it's on streaming platforms now. 76 days, and it's a documentary about, as I said, the first 76 days in lockdown in Wuhan, China, during the coronavirus pandemic, and it's great. The other thing, another movie that I worked on, it's a drama called Through the Glass Darkly, and it just released last Thursday on SVOD, which is streaming.
Literally never heard of it. SFOG?
SVOD, streaming video on demand.
Never heard of it.
SVOD.
No, I get that
Okay,
now.
okay,
I
yeah.
never heard of it.
It's on streaming platform, or it's available to stream now, and it's a drama, dramatic thriller, about a woman who is haunted by her past, and her daughter is missing. And I really don't want to give away too much, but it's a really, really cool dramatic thriller that I've been working on for a long time, and they finally got distribution, and I'm so proud of them.
Nice.
And
also, people who hire you to edit their film and all that, sometimes they haven't even got workings with distribution yet.
Well, that's the thing. The goal is to get distribution, but sometimes things don't get distribution. A lot of times we work on short films, and it's just like, okay, that's going to go to a festival. We're going to put it up on YouTube. That's it. But some movies, we do it for festivals, and then when you send it and submit it to a festival, excuse me, when you send it and submit it to a festival, they essentially send it there for a test run, essentially for people to see and see how much traction it'll get picked up, and then from there they try to start submitting it to more festivals to get potential buyers involved, and then to get a potential distribution deal. So it's not cut and dry unless it's like either a very hyped up project, or like you got a dope manager that's able to get you the connections. So that just got released last Thursday, Friday, and
Nice.
proud of that. And then the most recent thing that I'm working on, and still working on, is Creepshow. It's a horror anthology series on Shudder. And it also is on AMC, but season 3 is not on AMC yet. That's only on Shudder for the moment, but it will be released on AMC later, I believe. Yeah, it's just a horror anthology series. It's pretty cool. The first episode actually released last Thursday, and it has weekly releases on Thursdays.
Nice.
And we're working on that for a hot minute now. I actually worked on 2 seasons back to back. So season 2 came out sometime, I believe, in April. And
are you working on, like, do you work on these seasons, like you have all the episodes? And
this is a special case because of COVID. They shot 2 seasons back to back.
Okay.
And so yeah, we're just releasing back to back. So that's why I was able to work on one then the other.
Okay. But like, if you're working on a season, like normally, like say before COVID, do you get all the seasons, like all the episodes within the season, and then you're like your day, month, whatever's broken down to working on each episode? Because I know it takes time.
Yeah, well, it usually is staggered because the way it works, it's like you lock an episode, which means picture lock is like no one's going to mess with the edit unless something's completely wrong. And picture lock is usually achieved rolling. So it's like 1 episode here, 1 episode there, 2 more weeks for another episode. And so we usually get in chunks. So it's like maybe it's 1 episode at a time usually. Okay. Unless the schedule's a little tighter, and sometimes then it'll be like 2 episodes at a time, or some cases we'll have everything. It's so dependent on the show and the production. Yeah.
Do you ever get invested in a show that you're editing? Like you forget you even have to work. You're just like, oh my god, is she ever gonna find out? Oh shit, I was supposed to edit it. Like, all right, hold on, drag and
I
drop.
mean, since I'm like the
Don't go behind the door.
well, since I'm like a QC operator, I see these episodes numerous times,
Hmm.
and so getting invested is easy because I have to watch usually have
Yeah,
to watch the full episodes down before I send it out to make sure there's nothing wrong with the file.
yeah.
At least from my end, from what I can see.
I mean,
And
I think that's just smart.
well,
Quality control.
it's necessary.
Yeah.
And that's why I recommended to you when you started your podcast,
Yeah.
make sure you watch down your videos before you upload them in case, let's say your computer just decided to take a dump one day. You wouldn't know
Yeah,
if
no,
you didn't watch it down. So,
I think it was like the second interview. I mean, I fixed it, but you're absolutely right. Where in the beginning, our lips or like our audio was in sync, and then like I was like, oh, let me try to skip ahead. I went to like minute 40 or hour, somewhere close to the end, and our audios were not in sync, and I was like, whoa, what happened? So I had to go and fix that.
yeah. And so it's always good to check your work,
So
double
no,
check your work.
you're right. Like you do have to watch it all the way through for quality control.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I could get invested, and sometimes I do if it's something smaller, like where I don't have to watch it a million times. But for a lot of these episodes, I have to watch it numerous times, and so I'm not typically as invested. Plus, you have to be impartial because you're looking out for technical things.
Yeah.
So I can't get invested and just be like, oh man, I love this show. Because then you start zoning out, you start getting focused on the plot, you start getting focused on like what's going on instead of checking for like, oh, that pixel over there is the wrong color, well, that needs to get fixed, or like, oh, this is weirdly ghosty, what's going on here, did someone put two videos on top of each other and stuff like that. So you can't get too invested. You have to
That is tough.
You have to take a step back and kind of view it from like a technical perspective.
Man, especially if it's good. Oh man, I would do horrible at the job.
That documentary,
Yeah.
it has some very touching moments, and so when I was watching it, like the first couple times, I really had a hard time like detaching myself from the story.
I can see that.
And because I think documentaries are just, they're so engrossing most of the time. And so it's like that one's super engrossing, and I was just like, okay, wait, let me rewind like 2 minutes because this is really good, and I gotta actually just do the technical QC. So, yeah.
How long is that documentary?
I think it's an hour and 30, hour and 40.
Would you, something you enjoy, would you watch a 4-hour documentary on something?
I would split it up, and I mean technically I do. I love the Planet Earth series, and those are just long documentaries.
But they're like,
I know that's technically a series that's broken up, but the way I watch content now, if it's very long, I'll split it up into segments. I don't care about watching half one day, half another. I used to be very, very against that.
I'm still kind of against that. But for myself, like I have to watch it in one sitting.
But over time, I've started to realize
you're an adult.
I'm an adult, and I don't have a lot of time for things. So in order to budget my time better, I'll just watch half of it today, half of it tomorrow, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, like I was like thinking about 4-hour documentary of things that I would enjoy to watch. I was no.
That's a very I don't know.
That's a commitment. Just like
that's why I haven't watched the Snyder Cut yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, that one did take me 2 sittings. And actually, I think it was worth it. It gives you enough time to digest. It's good.
Well, if I remember correctly, they were supposed to, or they were originally going to cut it into 4 segments, and then they just said, forget it.
Good.
And so
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So I was like all down for it. I'm like, yeah, I can watch an hour segment of the Justice League, because I didn't expect it to be good, honestly, the second time around. So I was like, yeah, I can just watch an hour
it's good. Oh my God, they definitely did fix
a lot.
Yeah. Like especially with the Batman stuff. Like this is from the first Justice League. Like, listen, I'm not saying anything about
the first Justice League.
You haven't seen it? I don't blame you.
Listen, it's fine to spoil me, because here's the thing. It's like, I watched Suicide Squad because it was a James Gunn movie, and I thought people were raving about it.
Dude, that was really, I didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah, and so I've just like, honestly, I've abandoned the DCEU because they need to get their stuff together.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's called the DCEU. Is that what it's called? I think it's called
I think it was like DCEU for some weird reason.
DC expanded universe. I don't know.
I don't care.
Doesn't matter honestly, but
But
did you know the Flash was a part of the actual DCEU? Did you know the Flash Ezra showed up in one of the Flash episodes?
I don't care.
I just thought that was an interesting cameo. I didn't think they'd be able to pull off legal to get that working.
Yeah, the legal. But the first Justice League with like with Josh Whedon, like I'm not knocking him.
Joss.
What'd I say? Josh?
Josh.
Oh, wait. Joss?
Joss Whedon, yeah.
Okay, Joss Whedon. So I'm not knocking him, but I know that he likes to, in serious moments, he likes to try to sprinkle in a little bit light things, something funny for like comic relief.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Batman can't do that. What's great, and you know, I collect all the animated movies. Batman has a funny way of having comic relief by being like still dark, by being still serious.
Yeah.
And
it's usually just dark one-liners.
Exactly. That's kind of funny. Like one of my favorite ones is in Justice League War with Green Lantern going like, "Do you even fly?" And he's like, "On a plane." And but he's being serious about it. Like he's not trying to say it in a joking way. Like he's like walking. He's like, "Yeah, on a plane." And I'm like, that's what Batman would say. And it's just we receive it as funny because anyway,
it's a punchline.
Exactly. In the first Justice League, oh my god, I hate this so bad. So in Batman versus Superman, where Batman says to Superman, "Do you bleed? You will." Fucking in the first Justice League, God, this gives me this. Superman gets revived and he grabs Batman by the face and he's like,
doesn't he say that literally verbatim to him?
Yeah, he says, "What is it? Do you bleed?" And it's like, "Let's find out," or something. And like tosses Batman, ragdolls him, and then after like Superman leaves, there's a shot of Batman like rolling on the ground, going like, something's definitely bleeding." And it's so bad, it's so cringeworthy, and I was like, "Yo, I'm so offended." So they took that out in the Zack Snyder. That was definitely Joss Whedon.
Quip. It was definitely a Joss Whedon quip.
Yeah. I will, and I didn't know that this was his quip too in the first Justice League, which I enjoyed. I thought it was a good Batman Flash moment. Was when Flash, he's obviously a novice and Batman's veteran at like the hero thing, and at one point Flash is like, "Listen, I don't fight. I literally just move fast and push people. What do I do?" And Batman's like, "Save one person." And Flash is like, What do you mean?" And Batman's like, "Save one person and then you'll know." And like, so even though Batman doesn't have super speed, he knows what it's like to be a hero. He's like, "Save one person, then you'll realize you can save another and then another." And so the Flash ends up doing that. And it was a really cool like parent-son moment kind of thing. I really enjoyed. And so that was Josh, not Zack Snyder, but that was cut in the Snyder cut, but it's fine. Snyder cut, I recommend it. It's worth a watch. If you have to do it in 2 segments, do it. Excuse me, I did. Don't regret it.
It's a lot to digest 4 hours of movie. I honestly, I like Endgame. It's just so much to watch.
I like the second half. Endgame and Infinity War is a weird dynamic for me. Infinity War, I like before the final battle, and then Endgame I like halfway and to the final battle.
I like all of Infinity
I didn't like
War.
Endgame in the beginning. It was such a slow burn.
Well,
I get why, but
you got to make it dramatic. You got to make the stakes. You got to show that everything's terrible in the world after half of the population gets snapped away.
It was just a slow burn.
I mean, it was a slow burn. Yeah, I don't think that it would have benefited if it had anything cut, though. Honestly, I think everything was there and purposefully, and it seemed even relatively tastefully.
I'll be honest. I don't like the time travel concept that they had.
Well, it's either that or somehow reforming molecules.
I just thought that I know this is not why they did it. It's just this is what I picture. That they created this very convoluted time travel plot just so they can have Paul Rudd say the line, so Back to the Future was bullshit. That's what I believe.
No, well, now you're wrong
I
entirely.
know I'm wrong. I'm
now
just
you're
saying.
wrong entirely because they needed the time travel stuff to be like a toe dip into the water of the multiverse stuff, because that's literally all Marvel is going to be for the next couple of years, is multiverse stuff. And they did a quick summary of that, in Endgame, with the Ancient One being like, here's the timeline, here's the things.
Yeah.
And now it's like, cool, multiverse stuff is real. And now we're going to have the multiverse of madness with Doctor Strange in it, which is going to be interesting.
I know they said something about like they're going to try to, it's going to be a horror element like.
Oh, they said they're going to try to incorporate elements of horror in it. And I mean, hey, honestly, if you watch What If, there's an episode on Doctor Strange, and I'd say it's not horror.
I gotta give that a shot, since I'm a fan of animation.
Yeah, honestly, you know what you should definitely watch is the Star Wars Visions.
I heard of that.
Listen, Mike was just talking so much trash about it, just being like, well, it's just animation, it's just Star Wars, forced into an anime, and it doesn't need to be like that. It's just giving them an outlet to, be seen. And I'm just like, whatever, man. Just watch it and see, judge it then. And I'll be honest, I watched a couple of them, and I'm just like, not what at all I was expecting. This is super fun,
dude. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this right now. Like, and Mike and I were talking a little bit about this. Like, it was when the first Wonder Woman came out, and I really did not like Wonder Woman. But
the first one's a lot better than the second one. I'll say that.
Like, that's what I hear. I'm not gonna watch the second one.
Yeah, but it's not worth it.
I'm never gonna watch the first one ever again either. But anyways, so he was saying that, I think, he thinks animated movies, kind of ruined me in a way. And you know what? I think it did, but in a good way. But
what kind of animated movies? You talk about like the ones,
and just basically anything anime. If it's not, I think I don't like live action anymore, to an extent. So okay, like this is gonna be a really silly example, and I recommend people to look this up. Who cares about spoilers at this point? Star Wars. So especially, I think Star Wars especially needs to do tackle more on animated, because okay, have you played the game the Fallen Order?
Yeah, I beat Fallen Order.
Oh, you beat it. Okay, perfect. Do you remember when they introduced Darth Vader, and like, I forgot what the kid's name is, but he's on the ground and he's trying to pick this big pipe, like Vader's in front of him, on top of him. And
you're talking about Cal?
Cal.
Yeah, okay. The lead character, yes.
Yeah, I totally forgot his name. He's pretty forgettable. Sorry. So he's
Cal Cactus.
He's trying to break off a piece of the pipe right behind Darth Vader. Darth Vader's looking at him, and he's trying to swing it to hit him. And then Vader, without even looking, stops it. Like, they need to do more force action, like more force effect, like that. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
You gotta watch more Rebels.
Okay, good.
Gotta watch more Rebels.
Good. All right, good.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Okay, perfect. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I think a live action tries its best, and I'm not saying we don't have the technology to do it. I just don't think we have the right creative people, like. Okay.
No, I disagree with you there, because The Mandalorian was a technical marvel, and for what it is, it's just going back to the roots of Star Wars, which is more of a Kurosawa-esque kind of samurai film, or a Western film.
Yeah.
Where there's a slow burn and there's not much action.
I'm just saying, when you're introducing, what I'm saying, when you're introducing the Force.
Oh, but yeah, I guess
I want to see Flash. I want to see flashy things.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why I think the animated series do a better job of with the Jedi and stuff like that, because there's a little bit more flexibility going on, and that's, I mean, it's cool to see like the lightsaber battles, but aside from that, you're right. The force effects are something that is much better demonstrated through the animated mediums, and I agree even more. Going back to the 2D Tarkovsky, either way, Clone Wars series, where Mace Windu was op as hell, and he just like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
where he just literally clears out like him surrounded by super battle droids with just his fists, and starts punching super battle droids, and ridiculous. But that right there is one of my favorite, displays of the Force.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's when it comes to certain effects. I'm a fan of animated stuff because I feel like you're only limited. Obviously, you're limited to like resources, budget, and all that stuff. But really, you're still limited to your imagination.
Resources, budget, stuff, imagination.
But still, I'm just
It's
saying
only 4 limitations. Only.
Okay, that was bad. But you're not only limited to that. I'll take that back. But you're there's more limitations in live action than there is in animated stuff. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, let's keep going on this list of questions. I feel like I have distracted us to talk about nerd talk.
This is for me. No, this is good. I like this because it's not planned. We're talking about whatever.
Yeah, but I could sit here and talk about nerd stuff for a 7-hour podcast.
Too. Good. Even though we only got 2 hours. But anyways,
if that, I think how much time we got left on the clock, sir?
An hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try to wrap it up because I do want to talk about like other things real quick. But
let's go through the questions.
All right.
Gotta love it.
No, okay. This is good. This is actually what I really want to talk about too. All right, in your own words, because you can only speak for yourself. What makes a movie great? Let's get into some controversy right here. What makes a movie great in your own words?
That's a hard question, but I think it's also a very easy question too. What you get out of it? For some reason I thought you were just gonna be like, yeah, that's it. Cool. Next question.
Like, are you gonna elaborate?
No, that's it. Next question. What you get out of it? Because I think every movie has some sort of message, whether or not it's a hidden message that's like I don't know, something. It's either let me think how to say this actually. It's what you get out of it because movies have messages, and some can be extraordinarily surface level, or some can just be like oh man, I have to sit on this movie and think about it for like a week. But it's not just about that. It's about enjoyment. If I'm going to spend, any tickets are anywhere from $7 to $20 nowadays. If I'm going to spend X amount of money to go see a movie, was that worth my time? Because it's not just money you're thinking about, it's about time.
I really do think about that more than anything. It's time.
Yeah. And so it's like, are you having fun? Are you enjoying what you're watching? Does it spark a conversation? And I feel like if any of those things are yes, then you're getting what you've signed up for, I think. And so that's what I think that matters the most about movies. It's like, it's not entirely about trying to create a message. It's not entirely about, just making money. It's about what the viewer is able to take out of it. And hopefully, most of the time, you're able to get a positive, enjoyment from the movie or whatever you're going to see. But,
Yeah, I agree. My answer is kind of along the same line is, did you achieve what you wanted to achieve? So, for me, you know me, I love action movies. So, did you make the audience like go like, whoa, oh, like that to me? That to me is like, if I was the director or a producer and I'm in the very back during a screening and I hear the audience member reacting how I want them to react, I think I did a great job. Same with like comedy movies. Did the audience laugh? Romance, tear jerkers, thrillers, scary movies. Like, did you achieve what you're supposed to achieve as a scary movie, as a action movie, as a comedy? Did you achieve what you're supposed to achieve? I think that's what makes it great. That's why I like when I, silly debate with some of my friends where they're like, "Oh my God, you like The Expendables," for instance. Like, really, you like that movie? I'm like, dude, they know what they are. Like, it's a cheesy action movie. It's an homage to the '80s. They did a good job of capturing that. Like, I liked it. Is it Oscar worthy? No. But they should have an Oscar section for action movies.
It's did the viewer get something out of it? Did they have fun? yeah, then I think that you, I guess, yeah, it is literally that. It's, did you achieve your goal for the audience or for yourself? Did they get enjoyment out of it? Did they have fun? Is it, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
they got what they wanted out of it. I mean, I'm signing up for, if I'm going to see Expendables, I'm signing up for, a 2 hour movie of just explosions and guns and
Yeah.
some random miscellaneous comedy on the side. So yeah.
Yeah. It, that's when a movie is really bad, when you sign up for something super mindless and you don't even get that. Like I've watched, I forget, it was so bad. It was literally before COVID. I saw an action movie, and it's my fault. It came out like in February or something, and it was so bad. But the trailer made it look so good, and I was like, man, I was hoping for something mindless, and you didn't even give me that.
So what was the last movie you watched?
In theaters or in
Uh,
general?
I guess in theaters.
I gotta think about this.
Or I guess, what's the most recent 2021 movie that you watched? Was it Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I recommend Shang-Chi.
Oh no, that's it. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I did see that. Uh I disagree with you on the origin thing. You sent it on the group text.
Wait, what did I say? You're gonna make me look back to the group text.
But anyways, let me
Go ahead.
let me just give my spoiler free critique of Shang-Chi. It's a good movie. I recommend it. I know you're gonna shit on me for this. I don't care. Still shaky cam. Like they did some justice with the martial arts, but stop it with the shaky cam. Uh, the 10 rings, instead of it being, the finger rings, how they had it like the bracelets. I think that was a cool change. I really enjoyed that. I like the villain a little bit. The final battle was dope. I will get the final battle, the soundtrack, that was pretty dope. The final battle, air quote, there's that bad guy and there's the big thing. That was kind of lame. Like, but I still enjoyed it. But the final battle between the dude and the dude, that was dope.
Yeah.
And the war fight, that was pretty dope. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Well, so what I said in the group text was, this is how you do an origin story.
Origin story, yeah, that's what you said.
I thought that was a really cool origin story, because it wasn't just about Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
It was honestly kind of a backstory on his father as well. And so I think that it fleshed out, that was a movie that was able to flesh out both the protagonist and antagonist very well. Surprisingly, because as much as I love Marvel movies, they love to either do one or the other or neither.
Yeah. and I had a funny talk. I know Mike's probably gonna watch this podcast, or we were talking a little bit about it, but we went kayaking in the summer, and we were kind of him more so than me. I'm a little bit, but he's like, dude, I don't like bad guys having an origin, or if they're gonna have an origin, I guess do it well. But he's like, we were talking about great villains: Darth Vader, Hannibal Lecter. I said Kaiser Soze from The Usual Suspect.
Did you say Heath Ledger's the Joker?
And that one too. But we talked about how, like, what made him great, especially Darth Vader, like all of them. What made him great is they didn't have an origin. Like, we didn't know. We just knew they were just the baddest motherfuckers in the room, and like, they didn't need a story. Like, how people reacted, that was their story, and you're just left with your speculations. I get it, and I'm not saying a bad guy's story can't be done. But I am a little bit tired. Like, I don't want to sympathize with the bad guy. Me personally, I like
that's the
when
difference from a bad guy and then an antagonist. An antagonist is literally just someone that's going against what the protagonist is doing.
Yeah.
And so in that case, I mean, sorry, in the case of that movie, he's not particularly a villain.
That's true.
He's kind of an antagonist.
That's true. Okay.
I mean,
okay,
and for good reason.
You make a good point.
And so that's the thing. A lot of these movies, at least a lot of the Marvel movies recently, there's a difference between antagonist and villain, which is going to be interesting to see what they're going to be doing with the next couple. Because after, WandaVision, what is she?
Oh, it
So,
leaves you with you don't know if she's gonna be a hero or villain.
well, did you watch WandaVision all the way
No,
through?
I'm not gonna watch it. You can
Uh,
spoil it for me. I don't care.
uh, yeah. So essentially, so you know the premise, right? Or no?
Not really.
Hey, spoilers for the entirety of WandaVision. Uh, but it's a Marvel property, like it matters. Most people that would have watched it have already watched it by now. Wanda's essentially controlling the entire town that she's living within, and she's going through different eras to battle her grief that she lost Vision, and so she literally was controlling the entire town against their will to be characters within her fantasy world. And so it's like essentially what happens at the end is she releases control and then runs away.
Mm.
And so we're now left with she just pretty much brainwashed an entire town for months on end to try and cope with her grief. Now, she did lose her husband or boyfriend, I guess.
More
Technically,
boyfriend,
they never got
say.
married.
Yeah.
At least not in the MCU. But, and so it's like, she's sympathetic because she lost it, but she also was doing a horrible thing. Like she was holding these people captive against their will and essentially brainwashing them to be just these picturesque versions of 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s characters.
Yeah.
And so it's just like gray. It's a very gray line for where her morality stands, and it's interesting, but it's okay. It's not my favorite of the MCU shows, and honestly, I think that most of the MCU shows are, the first three, Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki, all suffered from COVID shooting, where they kind of had to change plot lines and stuff, and you can kind of see where things kind of went like, there's probably something a little bit more here that they could have done, and there's definitely some COVID interference from whatever. But I digress. It's also just entertainment TV. Did I sign up for it? Yes. Did I enjoy it? Yes. I got enjoyment.
Well, there you go. You got it.
That's the thing. When I watch things now, it's just like, am I going to enjoy this? Most likely. Did I enjoy it? Yep. Cool. Then I didn't waste my time.
All right. Cool. What is some movies / TV show that relates to your personality? So, like, if you could do as many as you want. Let's try to do like if you had to talk about like, all right, yeah, I love a bunch of movies and TV shows, but these 3 or these 5, if you watch them, you get a little bit of me.
Like a slice of my life. Wow, that's
exactly. It doesn't have to. It doesn't relate to your life. It's just your personality.
Okay.
Shit, my life's boring. Like, there's no TV show or movie. That's boring.
If I were to pick, oh man, well, if I were to pick something that definitely showed like a glimpse of who I am, it's stupid. It's so stupid. If I were to, no, Scott Pilgrim is going to be one, because I mean that's like one of those films I saw when I was a teenager that probably had a weird crucial impact on my growth and development in some way, shape, or form. Probably either becoming like a super indie head or just being like a weird, awkward teenager for this X amount of years. That's probably one.
Fucking love Scott Pilgrim.
Wait, is this movies only or
no movies? TV shows, like anything.
TV shows. Then I'm just gonna be like Parks and Rec. It's like a blind, optimistic kind of show. Lighthearted, good feeling. There's some downer moments, but it's not like it's like BoJack Horseman, where it's like everything just has like a downer moment and there's nothing on the other side. I would love to say BoJack Horseman is my third one, but I'm not that depressed.
I'm glad I never watched. Like I've heard things about it.
It's such a fantastic show, but it's just it's downer. It's downer.
Yeah, I don't like downer.
But it's also like a hilarious social commentary on Hollywood and just like things in general. So
yeah,
it's just enjoyable to watch it through a satirical medium where it's able to exacerbate things that you'd normally not be able to do. Like,
I can get that. Yeah,
horse people. LOL. That's in itself. It's really funny. Like how many times, I don't know how many times they made the joke of like, why the long face? Probably like once or twice though, only. In all honesty. I don't know. Those are the two that I can really pick off the top of my head. I can't think of any others immediately. Or else I'm going to be sitting here for forever.
Do you want me to go with mine?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say yours since I picked my 2 out of 3.
Definitely, I do plan, like, I really want to, especially when I get more time when I graduate school. I really want to, now that I know the basic of uh podcasts and stuff, I really want to try to review movies just for fun, like with spoilers and everything, because like I want to be able
Well,
to
you want to be
talk.
like a Jeremy Johns almost, right?
Yeah,
Is that his name? I forgot.
Jeremy Johns.
Yeah.
Like I like that guy. What I will say this, like people who can review movies like him, but I really like Jeremy. He's really down to earth and all that. I can imagine me hanging out with him and like hanging out with us. Like he's, yeah, like, but that's a skill to be able to talk about a movie in good details and not spoil it. Because I try to do that actually. I never released anything, but I was like, man, I really want to spoil this. I want to talk more in depth about this. So I mean, he does do
No,
spoiler
yeah,
videos,
I know.
but
I know how it works. It's always that. It's usually afterwards.
yeah,
Usually, he talks about it for a little bit, and then it goes into spoilers, or there will be a separate spoiler video.
yeah. So when I do it in the future, I'm definitely gonna do it with spoilers. There's no way I can do it.
He just
without.
reminds me of Ray William Johnson a little bit.
Yeah,
The way he talks. Yeah, what's up, guys?
yeah.
um,
Just optimistic, but for me, definitely number one. And I've battled this, but now I can now fully admit, no, this is definitely top 5 of my favorite movies of all time. And you did give it to me, Whiplash. Like fucking love Whiplash. Whiplash relates to me 95%. If somebody wants to know like what my personality is like,
what are you looking at? There's no fucking Mars bar down there.
um I was gonna try to say it loud. Shut up. You're gonna get me off track. Whiplash, 95%, both Miles and J.K. Simmons, both their characters is very similar
I'm
to
glad
me.
I didn't pick that one because I was actually tempted to say Whiplash.
That's me. That relates to me and scare you a bit. I can go on and on. That's gonna be the first movie I review when I start doing it. But Whiplash, love it. The Matrix trilogy, I love the Matrix trilogy. I don't understand in a way why people shit on 2 and 3. I get 3 a little bit, but 2 was good. I really like it. I love that movie because I like cyberpunk, and also it's just like as a kid, I remember watching 2 and 3 or 1 and 2 as a kid, not knowing the movie business, nothing. All I'm seeing is this somebody created a world in their that they had in their imagination, and they brought it to life, and to with guns, martial arts, and cool sunglasses. I was just like, yo, this is some dope ass shit. I love it. And you good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I love the Matrix. The Matrix to me definitely relates to my personality. And so those are 2 serious, and then the final one is for my humor, South Park. If you want to know what my humor is, it's South Park. It's just raunchy, it's swear like a sailor, and nothing's too offensive, as long as it's funny, and just and
I can get that.
yeah.
I could see those 3. And honestly, I really did want to say Whiplash, but I had a vibe that
Why
you would.
not? I think Whiplash is you too with the creativeness.
Yeah, no, I could see it. I didn't want to pick the same one as you because I had a feeling.
Oh, who cares?
I had a feeling that you were gonna say that.
You know me so well.
Fine, I'll say La La Land because it's the same thing,
It's the same.
and mastering and honing in on your craft and never giving up on your dreams. Well, no, I mean I do love La La Land though.
You do love La La Land.
As much as everybody. I will not say it is a superior film though. Whiplash is the better out of the 2 films. I
just didn't know it was a musical, which I really appreciated it for.
Yeah, well, that's a surprise. I mostly despise musicals.
That's true, and so that's how I know La La Land was good, when you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just so catchy, those songs, but it's also a hilarious satire on Hollywood, so that's kind of why I enjoy it so much too. Yeah, I can't pick another one. Honestly, off the top of my head, but
that's fine.
I feel like those 2 encapsulate me well enough, or else I'm just gonna start listing things from my childhood that I'm just like this had made a major impact on me, and they're not anything that actually relate to me.
Real random, because I just saw this show. have you seen Primal, or have you heard of the show called Primal?
Yeah, I have. My Garrett loves that show, and he's told me to watch it so many times. But I kind of want to finish Samurai Jack first, which I haven't even restarted, and I need to,
Yeah, I
because
mean,
I want to watch that last season,
yeah.
and it's in its entirety while watching everything else, because I mean Samurai Jack.
Where are you
is
watching
awesome.
Samurai Jack? Is it on a streaming service?
I think it's on Hulu, but I haven't watched it yet. I need to get back into my groove of watching things.
Dude, it's funny that you bring up Samurai Jack because that it kind of reminds me of it with the
It's
art
from
style.
the same guy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Shows how what I know.
It's okay. He's also the guy that did the 2D Clone Wars series and the Powerpuff Girls. And
Okay.
Dexter's Lab.
All right. You should watch Primal. It's good. Zach got me.
Heard it's amazing.
It is. It's
Yeah.
10 episodes. Oh my god. I didn't know
that's
what
its
I was.
first season, right?
Huh? Yeah. So they only have one season out right now. I didn't know what I was. Dude, I never heard of this show. Like, Zach brought it up to me back in 2019 when it came out. I never heard of it. I never saw any thumbnails. Nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
And finally, Zach was like, "Yo, let's watch Primal. It's on HBO." And
It's on HBO Max.
yeah.
That's where Samurai Jack is too.
Okay, good, perfect. So I sat down and I watched it, the first episode, and like 5 minutes in, I'm like, "What the fuck? This is what?" And it was so
It's
good.
brutal, right?
Hmm?
It's brutal, right?
It's brutal.
Yeah.
But then episode 3, like all of it's pretty good. Episode 3, though, I'm not gonna spoil it, but that one's a tearjerker, and I was like, I told Zach, if what I think is about to happen, I'm quitting the show. I'm a fucking, you know me, I don't cry, but I will bawl my eyes out and I will quit the show. And then it happened exactly what I thought of, and I was like, dude, that was good. Like, such a tearjerker. And then,
Dang, his T-Rex died?
oh my god, I'm not even gonna spoil it, but it's
That's all I know is there's like there's a saber tooth. I forget.
God, it's
I'll
good,
watch
man.
it. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's on my list.
Yeah, it's animated Turok, basically, like the old game Turok.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good though. All right. So you don't have any more shows you want to add on?
No, I'm good for now. Can't. If it comes back to me later, I'll circle back to the question. But right now, I can't think of anything.
I wanted to say, like, I love Breaking Bad, but it doesn't relate to my personality
You're not a drug
whatsoever. Exactly. Like,
You don't do math or chemistry.
but it's not even about life. It's just like, it's just a fun show.
I also think that's a very bad comparison to say, hey, this has influenced my life in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
I think it should be the exact opposite. I aspire to not be Walter White.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just picture some guy going like, "I love Breaking Bad. It got me off meth." It's like, all right, cool, whatever. All right. So, like, what advice do you have anybody who would want to work in post-production? Like, how would somebody go about to get started?
Follow your dreams. No. Getting started in post is stupid easy. It's just be a PA somewhere, be a fly on the wall, literally show that you're interested in any way, shape, or form, and usually somebody will be like, oh, if you're interested, I can actually show you what to do, or I can show you what I do. And so, at least that's how we do it at Moonshine. Like, if an intern is honestly intrigued with the process or is interested with the process and like to learn more, we'll sit there and explain it and try to talk them through. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly, be an intern if you can, or even I'm gonna take that back. If you're really interested in post-production, there's numerous ways to get into it. You can either watch YouTube videos and try to learn about the art of, making a cut, art of cutting. I forget there's a book about this. And you can do the bookworm way.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to school for it, or you could just try to dive right in and as I said, and then try to be a PA. Either or any of those three ways work. You just have to show that you're up for the challenge, because it's going to be, I mean, film hours are long, they're difficult. And
no, you and I used to live together.
yeah, and it could take a toll on you mentally. So I mean, It's you just have to have the aptitude for it and continue to do so, because it's, you know, it's a difficult industry. But
no, you would start your work. One time you started your work at midnight. You didn't come home till like 6 in the morning.
Well, that's dailies. So that's like when I process the footage that comes in overnight.
Yeah.
And then I send that back out before everyone wakes up so they can review it the next day. But you know, it really depends. You know, it really depends. But you can do it any of those 3 ways, and that's how I'd recommend it. Honestly, my best advice would be probably doing PA work first, to try to get in post-production and just show that you have the aptitude for it, and go from there.
All right, cool. All right, so I want to talk about this. So let me set this up.
Is that the last question? Because this seems like a final question.
What, the one I'm about to?
Yeah,
kinda.
Just with the way you're phrasing it right now.
Well, I mean, it might be the final question, unless you want to talk about whatever. Like, again, my show is lax. We can talk about whatever.
Yeah.
There's just I have this topic I really want to talk about. We grabbed lunch and I was teasing a little bit of what it might be about. But so let me set this up, and let me set this up for the audience. You and I, you're one of my bestest friends, but you and I, we disagree on a lot. Bestest, BFF. But you and I, we disagree on a lot of things, and that's one of the reasons why I think this friendship is awesome. Because you know, we're not trying to, you know, kiss ass and stuff. But so that being said,
I'm not gonna arm wrestle you if that's what you're asking.
This table's too long. I couldn't really reach you. All right. Anyways, so I hope you disagree with me on this, because I want to have like a little fun civil debate. Okay. So let me start by saying this. Okay. Everybody has an opinion on this. I don't want you to take it depends on who you are. It depends on the person. It depends on the individual. No, none of that bullshit. I want you to take a side. I'm going to take a side. I'm not married to this opinion. It's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I can be convinced. I just haven't yet. So, that being said, I want you to stand your ground on this, or like whatever. God, I hope you disagree with me on this. In relationships, do you think opposites attract?
God, you said I can't take the middle ground, because it really depends on the person, and it really depends on the personality of the person.
Like, and here's why I say that. I'm not trying to be a dick. Here's why, real quick. It's because, yes, we all know a bunch of issues. It does depend on the person, but like for the vast majority, I'm talking the vast majority, because it's easy to imagine like, oh, it depends on the person. But for the vast majority, do you believe opposites attract?
For the vast majority, I mean, this is a hard
gun to your head. You're betting your money at a casino.
This is a generalization, so this is a very hard question to answer with just a broad summarization. But in my history and opinion, yes, opposites attract.
Thank you. You disagree with me. Good. I mean, I disagree with you. So, all right, perfect. And you disagree with me. Yes. All right, good. But, okay, why do you believe opposites attract?
Have you ever stuck two magnets together? It works.
I would throw freaking my mug if I didn't love it so much.
I don't know. I feel like it almost goes back to yin and yang.
Yeah.
If you were to honestly have a perfect relationship at all points in time with zero conflict or zero friction at all, that's nice. I think that...
And then you wake up.
Well, yes, because LOL, what world is that existent? No, I honestly just... I feel like every relationship needs a little bit of turmoil or a little bit of something to keep it thriving. I mean, honestly, if I were to sit here and agree with you on everything, this would be an absolutely boring podcast right now, would it not be?
I mean, my show's small, so I really don't care.
Well, no, what I'm saying right now is, hey, DJ, didn't you literally just say we disagree?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Then this is a great example of that.
Exactly. okay, so
then we're still friends.
not anymore. But I mean, anyway, I'm just kidding.
But no, that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like
no,
I
no,
think
no.
that it's a yin and yang sort of thing. It's obviously you can't have peace without a little bit of turmoil in your life. You can't. I
Yeah.
mean, like I don't expect. I just don't see anything in life as just black and white, and it's just like, yep, that's exactly how it is. You're gonna be happy for the rest of your life,
But
and so I think you need something to balance you out.
okay, so like
Almost.
yeah, so let me try to add some specific. Okay, let's think of your personality right now. What would you say besides loyalty? I'm tired of people using that. What are your top 3 qualities?
And a person?
No, you.
Oh,
If you had a like forget ego, forget humble, like what do you believe are your top 3 qualities? And don't say loyalty.
dependability.
I mean, some people aren't. They'll be like, I'm not dependable.
Oh, I was just using a different word for loyalty. Essentially, dependability. It's the same thing. I honestly I'd say that. Because I'm a very dedicated person, my friends, and I try to be as. I mean, regardless of who you are, I want to help out no matter what. Uh. 3 qualities of myself. God, I feel like hi, I'm Neil. First day of class. Tell me 3 things about yourself.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm getting at. All right. Basically, forget of the top 3, but think of like your personality right now. Now think of the opposite, like your bizarro version of you, and put that in a girl's body. Are you attracted to that? Like if somebody was like almost the complete opposite of you,
I mean,
or for the vast majority the opposite of you, are you attracted to that?
Okay, so here's the problem. It's like I don't think when you're talking about opposites attracting, I don't think they're completely polar opposites attracting.
Yeah.
I think there are small things that are opposites that you will attract, or that you're attracted to in somebody.
If this
it's
makes
like,
it any better, I'm talking about mainly personality.
Yeah,
not interest.
I like introverts.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of like introverts more than extroverts because I sometimes enjoy being the extrovert and just being the boisterous and loud person, and I'm not known for being an introvert very much. So I envy people that can be introverts, and when I can be, it's fun, but I kind of like introverts more because they can just be chill and lax. I'm just the one that's like bouncing off the walls being like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
It's your boy back at it again. And it's just like, yeah, so I guess I'm attracted to introverts, but it's not like I don't hate extroverts.
No.
But yeah, I mean that's something I don't mind. I mean, again, it's not like you can if they were complete opposites, no. But if it's just certain traits, then yes, I'd say that opposites attract.
That's mainly what I'm talking about. Like, okay, so
because there's too many stipulations here. Because you're boiling it down to a yes or no question, and honestly, as much as you're like, yeah, you got to take a side. It's like every single question that you're gonna ask is always more nuanced than you try to condense it down to.
Of course, but no. Here's why. Like, I thought this through. Here's why. Yes, there's always going to be exceptions. There's always going to be like different factors that play in. So, the backstory to this is, like we went to Target and I was trying to find this book, like a journal that you try to fill out and all that stuff. It's like, these goals kind of thing. And I was hanging out with a couple of friends, and one of the pages had like list what your top 3 qualities are and what are your top 3 flaws are. But I was thinking about the top 3 qualities, and so for me, I thought of like, okay, 1, I'm pretty chill, I'm pretty lax, I'm easygoing. 2, I'm an extrovert, like socially, like and outgoing.
Is that a positive? Well, I mean, this is your own.
So
3 favorite traits.
That's true. And then 3, I'm fun competitive. Like, when we're playing a game, board games.
Wait, no, is that a positive?
That is a positive. But anyways, so when I think about that, And then when I think of the opposite of that, so when I think of the opposite of chill, somebody who's too anxious, riddled with anxiety. Listen, I'm not judging you, but it's probably best that we're not gonna, mix and match. We're not gonna be together. Like I don't want to be around that. Uh, it's fine with friends and stuff, but as a relationship, no. And then an extrovert, introvert, dude, man. And it's funny because I thought about my past. I've only exclusively dated introverts, and I had that big realization the other day when I was talking to Mike, and
I think I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I and they all failed, and I'm just like, man, you know what? I'm not really attracted to that. I'm not. I want to be with an extrovert person. I want to be with somebody who like is also outgoing and pretty social, not shy, definitely not shy. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging that. I don't if basically I picture like an introvert person and me, I'm like, listen, I don't think you and I and every introvert says the same thing. Like, oh well, I'm different. You just had the bad ones. I'm different. I'm like, no, no, no. Trust me. Y- You're right. Like, I don't know what it's like with you, and it could very well be different. I just know what I like, and when I picture the opposite, I'm not attracted to that. And when I keep thinking about things that I am attracted to, and that's where I'm challenging you, but I think you're right, is to say like, okay, I picture the opposite of me. So like with you being an extrovert and you thinking of an introvert, you're like, I'm fine with that. I like being the one to like be like, oh, let's do this. And to me, I'm like, that's cool. That's awesome. For me, I'm like, no, I want it to be a back and forth thing.
I mean, I like back and forth things. That's the thing. It's like I've always been the one to.
I want to be with somebody, an extrovert who next to them, I'm the shy one. But I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not picky, but like, but I just, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, man, what's this opposite attract kind of thing?
Dating
And
advice with DJ Jimenez.
I'm like, what is, because
um,
this is what I picture too. This is what I picture. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I know like a lot of things are nuanced, but a lot of the times I
yeah.
hope I'm wrong. Where say you're interested in a girl.
I feel like you are wrong in this situation though, because
That's
it's
fine.
hard to cut things as black and white in this situation
No,
because
no,
everything is a spectrum.
you're right. But this is what I'm picturing. Say you're interested in a girl, right?
Yeah.
And she's the opposite of you. Not necessarily like, split down the middle, the polar opposite, but a lot of interest. She's the opposite of you, but you're attracted to her, and you're still in the beginning stages, and you say to me, should I keep pursuing it? Me, DJ, I would say no. I'm like, I don't see it. I think, you guys are too different. But say I say that, and then she ends up being the one, and you get married and all that stuff, and you have the final laugh. Good. I'm glad I'm wrong because the me being wrong is you being happy with the one, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm wrong. I don't want to be right. Me being right means
Mm-hmm.
that you're single. No. So I hope I'm wrong. It's just if somebody comes up to me, it's kind of like the same thing with the ex rule. How I don't believe exes can be friends, kind of thing. Again, I hope I'm wrong. Uh, but I'm gonna stand my ground. I can be convinced. I just
I
haven't
think
yet
I think you're definitely wrong on that now.
with the exes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I will say that one is a hill I'm willing to die on. But this
No, that's another topic for another day. But no,
we got a little time.
no. I mean, my problem is with this question is just it's very cut and dry, very black and white.
Well,
And
because
I
obviously
think
everything
no,
has a gray area,
for
of
sure,
course.
but it's hard to just boil everything down to something that's yes or no. And that's honestly the worst part about everything. It's so hard to boil down everything to yes or no. Because
That's what makes it interesting, though.
it is, but when you start drawing those lines, then people will get heated over fictitious things that are just like, well, this, and it's like, no, it's not just that. Like if we were to debate this all day, it's like you could say no, they don't
Yeah.
attract. I could say yes, they attract, And then there's like, well, there's a huge gray area, so let's just completely ignore that and keep standing our ground and dying over it.
No,
But
see, this is what I was careful to say. It's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I can be
no, I know.
convinced.
I'm just saying. But like, let's say if we were to die on those hills, it's like, well, there's a huge gray area.
I made a mistake in my life
Yeah.
if I'm dying on that hill.
Yeah.
No, it's just because
because I get your point of view, and I think you definitely understand mine.
Yeah. This is what I picture. Like I try to I'm trying to label more specific things. This is what I picture. I guess not saying that this can like that this would be an issue. It could be maybe, but this is what I just pictured. It's a silly example. I love to snowboard, right? And say I were to date somebody that is not interested in skiing or snowboarding and doesn't like the cold weather, right? So right there it's like, oh, okay, well, at least once a year, twice a year, especially when I graduate, I want to, take trips out to Colorado to snowboard. And it'd be cool if you came with me, right? Like, I want to be able to share that part of my life with you. And you're like, no, I'm pretty adamant. I don't want to. I totally get that, right? So I do that activity, right? I go snowboard. I'm like, she's not a cold person. But then I try to do another activity, try to enter you into my, or have you into my life. And you're like, no, I don't want to do that either. If we end up going down the list of different activities, like these outgoing activities, but then it comes down to, it wasn't that you didn't like the cold weather. You're just not an outgoing person, which is fine. I'm not judging. I'm not saying I'm better than you, but clearly it's not going to work because you and I were two opposites. It just doesn't work. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is too is that when you meet somebody, you want to take a interest in their hobbies, just like they might take an interest in your hobbies, and you don't have to compromise. You don't have to be like, oh well, I'm done with my hobbies, now it's supporting hers, or vice versa.
So I think relationships are all about compromise.
It is about compromise, but I don't think it's about big compromises like oh man, like I don't think it's a bummer. Like, this is what I picture. If I met somebody and I had to quit my podcast, silly hobby, I'm not making money, it's just a hobby, and I had to quit the podcast to help her out, I have to want that. I have to be willing to have that compromise for it to not be an issue. Where it would be an issue is where I'm in a situation where I'm forced to quit my podcast to compromise, when I'm like, okay, but if we were in the similar situation, would you quit your hobby for mine, kind of deal? Because I don't mind compromising, just as long as like I know for a fact if you were in my situation, you do the same.
Yeah, I understand.
But I don't think opposites attract in the sense where if somebody's adamant of not wanting to be a part of your life in terms of activities and stuff like that, I don't see it.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. And I guess it's more like,
same how I joke about I can never date a vegan.
This is less of a question, more like opposite attract. It's more like, would you want to date somebody that doesn't want to change their ways for you?
Isn't that not opposite attract? I mean, I'm not attracted to no vegans.
It's a more nuanced question, and someone that's not willing to make sacrifices for you. So it's just like you're asking, would you want to be in a bad relationship? And so the answer is,
I've been saying
no.
yes
I wouldn't want to be in
times.
I wouldn't want to be in a bad relationship. But I mean, here's the thing. Again, it's I would say yes, opposites attract on minor things. I'm not gonna talk. Yeah, on minor things. Yeah, like,
I agree.
It's like, then yeah. I think there's that fine like descriptor at the end. I think that opposites attract if blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's like I won't. I would date a vegan.
Yeah.
They have a reason to do so, and it's not my place to come into a relationship and just be barging in and say, you can't do that.
Oh no, see,
They have
I will never do that. I'll just leave. I'm like,
no,
oh, you're a vegan? It
yeah.
was
I mean,
great.
it's
It was
not.
nice
To me,
meeting you.
it's deal breakers, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like there are things that you're adamant on that you just won't bend or flex on. But
Yeah.
on minor things, if it's something like, I don't like Mario Kart, it's like, I'll play Mario Party instead. I don't like Mario Party. I'll just play by myself. Okay. It's like, I won't get mad. You have your personal opinions, and you know.
Okay, and kind of going with the opposites attract. When I think of like my top 3 qualities, that to me is attractive. Like, so the fun competitor, like you mentioned Mario Kart. You know me, I love Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
God, nothing turns me on more if I'm just minding my own business and the girl just says to me, "I can beat you at Mario Kart." Do you want to get married? Like, do you want to? Those are some fighting words right there. Like, I'm gonna marry you if you keep at that.
I have yet to meet.
Especially if she can beat me at Mario Kart, bruh. Yeah. I'm buying a ring.
Yes,
like if she beats me.
If I could find a girl that would want to be my Warzone duos partner.
But that's what I'm saying.
Game.
Like, if she, like, when I think of that, where if same with extrovert, if a girl goes like, you know, just goes like, hey, we're hanging out with my friends, we're hanging out with these people, we're going out, we're doing this. I'm like, yo, like, you woke me up at 4 a.m. and you're telling me I gotta do this thing at 7. Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Like, I don't know. That just, when I picture similarities, I'm excited about that. Yeah, it's somebody, like, again, there's nothing wrong with an introvert, but I'm not attracted to that. Now, there's a difference if you're an introvert, but you're seeking excitement. Like, you've been wanting to, like, you just haven't had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, an introvert can come up to me and be like, oh, wow, you snowboard and you skydive? I've been always wanting to get out of my shell a little bit. Can you get me into that? I'd be like, oh my God, hell yeah. Oh, hey, I've always not been social, but I've always wanted to be social. Can you help me with that?
Yeah.
That's attractive. But if you're kind of set in your ways, which again, it's fine, I'm not the one for you, and you're not the one for me.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta want to change, not for your partner, though. You want to kind of have to change for yourself.
Yeah.
And so you should probably look for people that want to change for themselves, not for their partner.
Yeah.
So,
especially the fun competitive one, man, I'll be honest. I think it's healthy. For anybody, both guys and
healthy competition, yeah. A healthy competition.
Healthy. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Fun competitive, not the toxic one. I get that.
I'm not gonna say fun competitive. I'm just gonna say healthy competition.
Why not fun?
Because fun competition can still be
just semantics.
It's just, it can still be driven down to competition. It's like, I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's semantics.
Well, actually,
healthy.
No, okay. Fine.
We'll use your words.
I'll say this. Competition doesn't have to always be fun.
I mean, for me, it's all fun.
Is it?
For me.
If we were going to the shooting range and I got bullseyes every fucking time, and would you not get a little salty if you just missed everything?
Listen, I had fun. I'm just never going to invite you ever again.
Well, that's unhealthy competition right there.
I had fun, or I thought I did. I'm just never going to invite you.
That's the difference. That's the difference between fun and healthy competition.
I'm just kidding.
I know. But that's an example of that.
Hey, we should invite Neil to go to the shooting range. Nope, not again. Like, that dude beat me. Nope. I shoot more than he does, and he beat me. No, screw that. But yeah, like, fun competitive.
I have good form, bro.
Or healthy competitive. Yeah.
No, I can see why it's necessary and why it's a good thing.
I cringe when I hear people talk about, oh no, I don't play board games, or I don't play video games with my man or woman, or play beer pong with the gang and stuff. I'm like, why? Like, I'm legit concerned. Like, why? Like, there has to be a reason that you don't find enjoyment in these silly games.
I mean, maybe that's just their personality. You can't blame them for their personality, though.
True, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't help. I'll be honest. I can't help but be a little bit concerned. Same with this. I will say this. It's especially for guys. Same with girls, but I'm speaking to the guys. My kings out there. yo, find you find you a cheerleader. Not somebody who was a cheerleader in high school or in college. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is find you a cheerleader that when you are playing games, like she's sitting out and you're playing games like beer pong or whatever, she's cheering you on. She's your number one fan. She's high-fiving you when you get those like freaking the ball in the cups and stuff. Find you a cheerleader. There's nothing more attractive than support. Oh man, there was a funny
and for vice versa, be a cheerleader for them.
And then be a cheerleader
don't
for
just
them.
be looking out for someone who's a dog.
Yeah, no, I'm saying for my guys to find you somebody like that, but also that goes without saying, be a cheerleader for them as well.
It's as you said, it's a give and a take.
Yeah,
push and a pull.
Like, there's a funny How I Met Your Mother episode where, did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
I'm signing out, man. I don't.
Damn.
I've watched like miscellaneous episodes, but I can't get into that show.
Okay, well, real quick.
Fake laughs hurt me.
I don't blame you. But there's basically one arc where the main character, Ted, he's dating this girl.
I know of the characters, yes. I know.
All right. Well, he's dating
Ted.
this girl named Zoe, and they're not opposites, but they're not supporting each other. They're like, Ted's more sweeping it under the rug, and later in the episode he said something like he finally snaps and he says like to his friends that nobody wants to be challenged. Everybody wants to be supported and stuff, and that's so true. Like, I mean, I try not to shit on any of my exes, but I dated somebody who was not supportive and it sucked. And I'm just like, and then not only that, but I had when we were hanging out with friends and they were supportive of each other, like the other couple, it makes you go like, damn, I want that.
Yeah.
So I would say, I don't know. Again, it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I'm in a funny way. I'm just saying opposites. I do not believe attract. I can be convinced. But more so than anything, find you a cheerleader.
Agreed.
Anything you want to add? I mean, we got around like 15 minutes.
No, I think I'm pretty good. I don't got much to add.
No, real quick. Like,
I'm sorry, I got a blank ass brain sometimes. I'm just blanking right now.
My narcissistic brain, just a little bit. For real, how do you like my setup? Like, full critique on camera, everything. How do you like my setup?
You look like a nerd, man. No, I mean, hey, you come over to my place and you know how much I'm a fucking nerd too.
Dude, I love, I really do love your place. Like, you, my friend, have a gift. I really think, in a way, you like on a side or something, you should get into interior design because you are good with space management. You really are.
Hey, you know what? I looked at a lot of Amazon for a couple weeks before I started deciding this is where things need to go and this is what it needs to be like. No, man. When I get an idea in my head, I just stick to it, and I'm just like, this is exactly how I want it to be. I love that idea. I want my place to look like that, so I can feel comfortable in that space. I mean, and that's literally what happened with my most recent, reorganizing of my apartment. I just kind of was like, hey, I want these kind of shelves. I want to put some plants around here. I want to show off some of this. And so that's exactly what I aim for. And so I set out to do it, and I did it. I was thinking about that actually, honestly. Interior design stuff just for fun. But I could tell you right now, I do not hold a candle to any of the people at SCAD that were doing that stuff officially. That stuff is just so intense. And
the actual interior design.
The interior design field, yes. Those people are amazingly smart and so much more intense than I would ever actually expect.
I just
do that.
I mean, I'm not knocking it as a class or anything. I can't imagine taking a class on that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine taking any classes in film and TV anymore. I wouldn't recommend it, in all honesty. But no, I think your setup's great. I mean, this is your first setup.
Yeah.
It's gonna be quaint. It's gonna be
Oh,
cozy.
it's definitely gonna evolve. Like the first thing I'm changing.
Just get a rug.
Somebody said
Not gonna be at all seen, but it'll just be nice.
a
Add a
rug.
little add a little accent to this room.
Okay. I'll add that.
Anything to hang on the walls maybe. But no. Aside from that, I mean, you're probably asking how is my nerd setup behind you looking? That's what you're probably asking the most about, right?
Not really.
Really?
It's mainly the table and
Well, you're gonna get a new
cameras,
table.
the lights and all that.
Oh, well, I told you should get a professional camera at the very least. Add a third camera to have a 2-shot.
I do need to. Yeah, I'm actually looking into that.
I mean, if you're gonna just buy another used iPhone.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Maybe get a serving tray for all your drinks once you get it on the table, or get the new table. Aside from that, I think this is.
I'm so excited.
This is totally fine. This is like simple podcast setup. You're going for a simple podcast right now. You're not trying to get sponsors. You're not trying to coax money out of people yet and be 100% professional. Well, you're not trying to be professional about it yet.
Yeah.
And so for right now, this is a great basic setup. It's cozy and quaint. Although I will say it's a little chilly.
I mean, I purposely did that for me.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, okay. But no,
it's also like way hotter outside and more than I expected it to be because yesterday was 80 and then the day before that was like 70 something.
Yeah.
And these temperatures are fluctuating like crazy and I don't understand this world right now.
It's Georgia, dude. Georgia weather.
I know. This is like probably like fall. Well, this is false fall as I keep seeing on the Georgia memes. Man, I can't wait for actual fall. It's all I know. Just I'm sick of.
I mean, we're
sick of summer.
Yeah.
I like wearing pants. Shorts are okay.
I always wear jeans. Like
I don't like
jeans
sweating.
Or gym shorts.
Sweating in the middle of summer in jeans is like the most disgusting thing. Second to being in soaked jeans.
Oof.
That is the worst thing.
In a weird way, used to like it as a kid. I don't know why.
Did you like peeing your pants too?
No.
Then I don't know how you liked it. In all seriousness, it made me just feel like I peed myself, and that's why. Because I fell into ice once.
Ooh, what?
In a small creek. It was back in Indiana when I was a kid. There was like some ice on a little bit of a creek, and I'm just like, oh, this is really cool. We could stand on top of it because we were testing it out. But I did too hard of a jump, or I must have went too shallow portion of the ice.
Oh, shit.
And I fell in, and it was just up to my pants, up to my waistline. But like my pants were soaked, and I had to walk home like 3 blocks in like cold ass weather. Oh. So it was not fun, and that literally has turned me off on ever. Cause I remember once going to a friend's house, and they're like, "Yeah, you want to swim?" I'm like, "Cool, sure." You got any extra trunks? Nah, man, you can just swim in your jeans. And I'm like, "Why?" No.
I think I liked it as a kid because it was weights. So when you're in the water, swimming was tougher, and I was weird. I was like, oh, this is like a workout.
Put on some flippers, bro. I hated those. Scuba flippers are weird. Yeah, and they make you just feel like you're like. I don't
feel like I swim faster or swifter with them. I suck at swimming though. Like that's the one thing before I die, like I really do want to be better at is swimming.
Have you gone scubaing yet?
No, I haven't gone scuba. I do want to go scuba
diving. I want to go scubaing.
Dude, we should make it a packed effort. Like you and me, first time ever. Because with skydiving, I went for the first time with my buddy Brady and Alec. So you and I should have a pack of when we go scuba diving.
Here's the thing though. I want to do something weird because apparently there's like
I want to do everything.
There's a coral reef off the coast of Georgia. I don't know how big it is. It's because I think it's kind of small, honestly. And the worst part is it's in the disgusting, East Coast ocean. So it's probably very cloudy down there. But I would love to go scubaing down there. I just have no idea if that's even a feasible idea because of,
It is pricey, I know that, but
feasible idea to do that, but I know scubaing in general, you kind of need to do some training first and then go scubaing, so you don't do some stupid ass shit like getting the bends.
Let's look into it, man. Let's look, and I'll request a weekend off so you and I can do it. Let's look into that. I want to. I said it on the show. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'll do just about anything.
Heroin?
What were we talking about earlier today? Is like you got to put yourself in a bad situation, something, whatever.
Don't remember.
I don't know, whatever. It has something to do with heroin, though. No, crap, this is gonna bother me. We were talking about like you had to put yourself in situations, putting yourself out there, kind of thing. When we were grabbing lunch, we were saying,
Yeah, I know, but I can't remember back that far.
and I said something
I had the itis
like
afterwards.
we said something like, realistic, like, oh, if you're not social, you got to put yourself in social settings.
Oh, I'm talking about breaking out of your shell. Okay,
breaking
yeah.
out of your shell. And then
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, that's why you got to do a lot of heroin so you're not afraid of needles. Yeah. Anyway, swinging a miss.
I think that went over better in your head than on the show.
Well, that was supposed to be silly. Is the whole point. It's like, yeah, that's why I did a bunch of heroin, so I'm not
silly
afraid
or
of needles.
depressing.
But yeah, let's shoot. Oh, I'm an adrenaline junkie. The only two things like I don't see myself really doing is, I mean, one I can see myself doing. You'll never hear me say it first, is bungee jumping. Not super thrilled at that. I'll do it. I can see myself doing it. I'm just not gonna suggest it. And then the other one, definitely not. Like, I can't imagine a scenario where I do it, is being put in a shark cage in shark infested water. Fuck that.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I that's not really adrenaline for me. That's just like fear. It's just pure fear. Just inject it into my veins. You might as well just literally give me Scarecrow's like fear toxin instead. I'd much rather just be tripping out in my house, scared of my walls, versus being surrounded by bloodthirsty monsters that are trying to potentially devour me. No,
I'm not.
That's a terrible idea. I think yeah, bungee jumping's terrible. I think ziplining would be cool.
Ziplining is cool
in comparison to like a bungee jumping. Yeah, I'd do skydiving even after all of the horrible things that I've seen in skydiving accidents.
It's so fun, man. It's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, adrenaline junkie wise, yeah, I can't think of anything else that would be that insane.
But I'll look into scuba diving. So you and I.
That's not insane. That's just chill.
But no,
have you gone snorkeling?
I've done snorkeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like snorkeling is like the PG version.
It really is. You got to get one of those like masks, the full face mask of snorkel. Those things are so cool.
My only thing is, the snorkel goes above the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole point is you're supposed to swim with that always above the water, right?
Well, the snorkel mask is bent, so like while you're flat on the water, the snorkel is like this.
I never swim straight though. I always like kind of like dip my head down and I kind of like go like that. So like I have this.
Well, stop doing that.
I have a feeling that if I do that, I'm just gonna go down. The water's gonna go straight in the snorkel, and you're gonna hear me
go. Because snorkeling, yeah, people get it confused. Snorkeling, it's all about you're just.
That's just how I swim, though. That's just how I swim.
Snorkeling is just about staying on the surface of the water, staring down. Basically never having to like look up. That way you can see like the school of fish, the reefs and stuff.
So it's like literally being on like a glass boat.
Yeah. So you never have to be like
with less pollution.
Like you're able to see. Full face mask. I highly recommend them. Those things are awesome. I have one upstairs. It's red too.
Or just face masks. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. That'd be really funny seeing someone trying to like snorkel with a secondary mask on. And they just come out and it's just like,
why?
Just for the sheer lulls.
I will say with the
gotta
pandemic,
be 6 feet away from me at all times.
The one thing I was like, even during the pandemic, the thing that kind of like pissed me off when like a bunch of things were shutting down, was when they shut down the ski lifts in Colorado. And I said, wait, why? You wear mask you wear ski mask in general, and like the ski lifts are the ultimate social distancing. Like what?
Probably because of the fact that you're not. I actually don't know. That makes no sense because they could easily just say, okay, we're gonna put one lift closed down, and then you do the one there and the one there, and you just,
not even.
And then even then, you could just be like, okay, cool. Only people that are together can go in one lift. If you're by yourself, cool, you got to wait and go by a lift by yourself.
And that's already what happens in general.
Probably,
like, very rarely do people in
probably
a group...
disinfecting. It's probably the fact that they're like, oh, if we were to do this in order to follow the guidelines, we'd have to disinfect, but we won't have someone literally there stopping the ride, cleaning it off, getting in and going. That's the only stipulation that I could logistically see.
I hear what you're saying.
Because I agree with you. It's silly that they closed down.
I was like,
because you're right. It's socially distanced.
Whoa, this is the most natural social distancing thing ever. So whatever. All right, man. So yeah, we did about 2 hours. I was gonna try to squeeze out for more, but no. Neil, again, you're day zero. You're one of my bestest friends, and you helped out with the show. Man, one day I kind of want to save it as a surprise, but whatever. Yeah, I'll save it as a surprise in the future. But
cool.
No, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for being an awesome person. And see, this is why I need to get a table. Oh, look at that. Some people...
I prepped for it. I moved the scissor mounts.
Yeah, some people go like, oh, man, and it's awkward.
No, you mentioned it before, so I had to prepare myself mentally for it.
There we go. So, actually, you know what? I don't need a new table. People just need to, get better. No, I'm just kidding. All right. That's it. Thank you guys so much. See you.